Hi guys, and welcome to City Bright. So today we're kind of kicking off a little Valentine's series since it's February now. We're gonna do a Q&A with our husbands. This is Manny and this is Pablo, and we are so excited to jump right into this video.
Yep.
So let's jump right in. This question is just from an anonymous person, but it says, "How do you know when you're ready for marriage?"
I'll let Manny go first.
Well, my answer is pretty simple. You just know. That's for me. You just know. Like there isn't any really. If you don't have to think about, am I going to stay with this person for the rest of my life? Then you know, because you don't really have to think about
That's
it.
true.
Yeah,
That's how it was for us, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
You know when you know. I go with that too. I mean,
guys are like,
you just know.
Well, it is true. People always say that, but I feel like once it really does happen, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like annoying advice when you're not there yet, but once you get there, it kind of comes together. So that's true.
You do have to love the family, that's for sure.
That's a good
Because
thing.
when you marry somebody, you marry the family.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very true.
I guess you don't have to love them, but you have to know that you're going to
Like
be
it.
Act like you love them.
attached to them forever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's true. That's good.
And like,
Good
okay, I'm
advice.
going to throw this part in there, and I know this sounds like cliche, but this is true for us too. When you pray about it, and you know, there's a lot of things that go into it, but you'll have peace, and that kind of goes along with what you said, like you'll just know. But you'll have peace when you're praying about it, and you know, you're like dating this person, and it's leading up to that. So, but I mean, that was a big thing, and like my parents approved, so that was for me huge.
Sure.
I know everybody doesn't have that same situation, but for us, it was it was all of those factors. So
Yeah, very true.
okay. This question came in and it says, do you guys have nicknames for each other? Nicknames?
You guys have any?
When I met you in Costa Rica, I always call you Texas.
Yep.
Mhm.
He's called me Texas. I actually accused him of he couldn't remember my name. So he called me Texas because he could remember that. But he says that wasn't true. But
I don't think we really have any legitimate nicknames for each other. I joke around just to like annoy him because he gives me a dirty look every time. I just like call him like random names, like Pete. That's one of them. Like I call him names like that all the time.
Yeah,
like just stupid names. Like, hey Pete, can you help me? He's like, my name is not Pete. I do that to annoy him.
That's funny.
Just to be stupid. But we don't really have any real nicknames for each other.
you don't have anything for Rose?
No. I mean, I'll do the same thing once in a while. I call her.
He comes like Margaret and stuff. Because I do it. It's like so dumb, but we do it all the time. And I do that for my mom too. I call her
Yeah,
Margaret.
but we don't have a legit nickname.
That's good. That's
Nothing
good.
really that I can think of. So I have this question. It said, "What do you and Manny like to do for fun?" But I think we can all. What do we like to do for fun? Maybe like a fun date night, something like that. What do we like to do?
But I like the most, I'm not going to say it in the camera. But I do like to go eat sushi with my wife. I do.
Okay.
Because my daughter's probably going to be watching that video, so yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You guys, I don't know. I'd like to recover from that.
What do we like to do?
Honestly,
Same answer.
we like to stay home.
Okay.
Really though,
That is our
Same
fun.
answer.
we truly do like to stay home and just like hang out. We're both kind of like almost a little introverted in that way that if we're like out working all day or anything like that, we need like time to just kind of relax. So we just relax together, watch Netflix, that kind of
That's the
stuff.
Christian version
we
for
like.
what I just said. Just,
What she just said is Netflix and
Netflix
chill.
and chill.
Exactly what she just said. And I would say too, one thing we like to do for fun, but we don't get to do as much anymore, but we like to travel or like, you know, just go to places that we've never been. It doesn't have to be anywhere far or anywhere exotic, but we like to just, you know, I don't know, just travel around, like go explore, go like find places that we've never been, eat in places that we've never been, just kind of go do like
food. I love good restaurants,
anything that
Yeah.
like centers around food.
One of the most fun dates that we've ever been on was for our 2-year dating anniversary. And we went to see Manchester United in Chicago,
I remember.
a soccer
That's
game.
good.
It was
PSG,
so
man.
fun. Yeah, it
That's
was
good.
so much fun. And I think that's like my favorite thing that we've done as far as that goes. That was really cool. So
That was fun.
we get out of the house once in a while. It's rare, but it happens.
That's funny. Cool. Okay. What is the funniest or like dumbest thing you've ever fought over? We never fight. Just kidding.
We don't fight. We love the Lord, and
He makes all
We
our
actually had the perfect.
kidding.
No, totally kidding. I don't know. Manny doesn't fight. I fight sometimes.
I don't see a point to fight.
Manny's not a fighter, that is for sure. He just kind of doesn't talk when we get to that point. But one time, I did get mad at him. It was when we had first gotten married, and I was in the shower, and I had a long day or something. I was in a really hot shower, and he poured freezing water on me, which is a common prank, but for some reason I had no sense of humor at all that day, and I got really upset, and I was mad for quite a while after that. But again, he doesn't fight, so he just said, "What's wrong with you?" and moved on. Like, there was no fight involved.
That's funny.
But yeah, this is him all the time, and I'm not quite like that, so
funny.
we're working on it.
That's good. That's good.
I would say for the most part you're like that, where you normally like don't fight or you try to work it out really quickly, but every once in a while his Latino side comes out and he gets so feisty and he, is like, he comes to a limit.
You're right.
But it's kind of a long story, so I won't tell the whole thing. But I think one time, are you thinking about the gum?
Yeah, honeymoon. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on our honeymoon, so we kicked it off right, like started out right. And long story short, I was driving us to our hotel. We'd had a long day of travel.
We've been married for 24 hours.
Yeah, and we had like several planes to catch going to our honeymoon destination in Hawaii. And so I was driving to the hotel, and it was dark, and we had this old-fashioned like map, like a paper map. We didn't have GPS, that we were trying to like find our hotel because our
It's made
GPS
that
thing.
story so much better. It's a paper map.
Yeah, because those, like who knows how to use those? Like our GPS wouldn't work in Hawaii. I don't know what was the deal. So we have this map that they gave us at the rental car company, and I'm trying to find our hotel, and Pablo keeps asking me for a piece of gum.
One time.
No,
One time.
like every 5 minutes, and I was just like wanting him to help me find our hotel. And so finally, I just had enough of the gum asking question, and I would just very nicely said, "Darling, could you please wait till we get to the hotel to get the gum?"
And I say, yes, ma'am.
But actually, no, I kind of,
Yeah.
for some reason, I just lost my cool. I'm just mad about him asking for gum. And then we got there, and I was like, sorry. But anyways, that was so dumb. I don't know why. But that was when we laughed about that, because he wanted a piece of gum, and I just wanted to get to the hotel.
This one says, how do y'all see your relationships in the future?
Married?
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer this. Y'all have to answer this one.
Is that like a personal goals or?
I don't know. And just however you want to take that, I guess.
I guess in the future, we set some personal goals, like financial goals and things that we want to accomplish in the next 5-10 years, and just hoping and praying that we can hit those goals, for our future, basically.
What do you think about for us? Being married, that's a big part of our future. I'll answer this.
Yeah.
Definitely having kids. I know we want, how many kids do we want? 3 or 4?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 kids.
That's what everybody says. After they have the first one, yeah.
3 or 4 is what we think we're aiming for here. But yeah, having kids and just continuing, just chasing after the goals that we have. And Manny has kind of a few business things in his mind that he's kind of wanting to launch maybe in the next few years, and doing some things there related to soccer and some other things that he's really passionate about. So definitely going for that. And I think it's going to be some good stuff. Some good stuff coming up. But.
How far into the future are we talking?
I don't know.
There you go.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think just generally that's kind of, raising a family and things like that are top for me, and obviously continuing the ministry that we do and stuff like that. So.
All right, so I have another one that says, what is your best relationship advice?
Mine, for me, it works for me sometimes. If you're going to argue, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Let her do all the, and just sit there and be quiet. And sometimes it makes her more mad. But
Yeah.
and then sometimes.
That is usually when I get mad, is when he just shuts down and won't get into it and have an argument. I'm like, just argue. Let's get it out.
Yeah.
And that's how I am.
Yeah.
Let's just get through it and then I'll move on.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I just need to talk it out.
I think that's something.
But
Me, I just move straight on.
yeah, he doesn't need the talking part.
This one's forget it,
right.
move on.
Yep. But for me, I think best relationship advice, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom always says about any marriage or even just friendships or whatever. She always says a couple things. One of them, I'm sure you've heard, but it's you have to pick your battles. You can't go to war over everything. And that's what she always told me growing up, and that stuck with me. And then also she always says it takes 2 to fight. So, kind of like what Manny does, you can end it and you can kind of shut it down there. And that's something for me that, I don't know, has been really helpful because most things are really not worth it. You know, when you look in the grand scheme of things and you look, you know, in 5 years or 10 years, will it matter then? You know, will you get to 10 years from now and look back and say, I can't believe you said that to me? Probably not. You know, it doesn't really matter. So it's really not worth it, you know, and obviously that's easier said than done in some cases. Not for him, Mr. Perfect over here, but easier said than done. But, you know, obviously I think it's important to just think about, is it really that important? Does it really matter? So.
That's good. For me, it's kind of very similar, but I would say, you know, my wife is the person that I love the most. Choose the right words when you're fighting.
That's good.
Just be careful what you say because words can really hurt, or can, you know, you can always, forgiveness is always there, but think what you're gonna say before you say it. And if you're gonna be that kind of person, like, man, just take a break and then just cool off and then you can talk. Never get to that point where you just say stuff, even if you later
don't mean it.
Don't mean it. Just don't cross that line.
He actually always does that, and he's really careful about his words because you realize that even though you can say you're sorry and I didn't mean it, that word is still out there. You are really good about that. That's good. Yeah, I think all of that is really good. And then on that same note, I remember my parents told us when we were getting married that when we do disagree, or if there's something, you know, that we're trying to like work through or whatever, to just be careful, like who we share it with, and not to just go around like if we got in a fight or if, you know, you did something that, you know, I didn't like, whatever, and I went and told a bunch of people about it, like later I will come back and we'll work it out and I'll forgive you. But then all of these other people may like hold a grudge or just kind of, you know, maybe not be as quick to forgive you. And they, so they said, you know, obviously like you can talk some things out with certain people, but just choose who you share things with about your marriage. And
maybe Facebook, not a good idea. Try maybe Instagram will be better, or Twitter.
Keep it off social media. That's a huge piece of advice. That's important.
Funny. This is a good question. I mean, it's kind of simple, but maybe everybody doesn't know it. It just says, how long have you been married? How long have we been married?
12 years.
Good job. Wait.
No.
Wait.
I said good job.
Well, I said 12 years because we were talking yesterday. We met in 2006. I was thinking about yesterday that this month is 13 years.
So it has nothing to do with 12, but it's okay.
You know, we were testing yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
how long were you married?
We were married 11 years in March.
There you go. Good job. Good job.
We met in 2006.
I don't know where 12 came from, but
yeah, we met in 2006, and we got married in 2008.
Yep.
So 11 years.
We've been married for just over 2 years. It'll be three in almost 3 years. It'll be three in May. So
a couple months,
yeah.
Yep, and then we've been together for almost, I don't know, for about 6 years we've been together. We've known each other for about almost 7 years.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
2013 we started dating.
Yeah, so how long would that be?
Almost 6 years. Yeah.
There we go.
What month did you guys get married?
May.
Okay.
May 28th.
28th, yeah.
Good thing I said that before because you didn't know.
he's like, it was your day. That's what I was saying. That's funny. This one says, can you guys recommend some good books for marriage?
I do. I mean, I would say
apparently not.
It's actually not a marriage book, but applies for everything you do in life. It's called the compound effect. It's basically everything that you do. If you do it every day, it's kind of like compound interest. It's going to grow. So if you fight for your marriage every day, even on little things, I mean, it's going to get better and better and better and better. It's a principle, but it applies for everything. So I read that book, and I feel like it's something that I got to do for my family, my wife, and my kids every single day. So, yeah.
That's good. I like I honestly didn't read the book, but I did read, I took the test. So it's the 5 love languages. Is that what you're going to say? I've read parts of it, but I haven't read through the whole book. But knowing that was really helpful for us. And then I like The Power of a Praying Wife. It was really good.
Yeah. I was going to say the 5 love languages
Did
as
you
well.
read the book?
Yes. I read it actually a while before Manny and I had even met or anything. And I love the concept of it. But then we did the test together as well. after we met. So that's a really good book. And then there was one, and I'll have to maybe link it. I don't remember, and you may want to say this too, because this is the one we used in our premarital counseling, and you guys may know, but it's 12 questions to ask before you get married or something like that. You remember that?
Yeah.
And it's a really great book as well. So that kind of gears more towards those thinking about getting married.
Yeah.
That's good.
But and the 5 love languages as well, even if you're not dating. I mean, it's good to know, what your
exactly.
love language is and that kind of thing. It really teaches you a lot about yourself and then also about your future husband or wife, when that time comes. So.
I'll give the typical Christian answer and say the Bible.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Because
Yeah.
literally everything is in there.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
you need to
that's
know about marriage, about anything, is in the Bible.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a fun Q&A. Thanks for sending in questions, and thank you to our husbands for agreeing to be on here and answer these questions. We're going to be doing this series all month long in February, talking about love and relationships. So we hope that you guys will tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to City Bright.
Hi, guys.